So many people want to know exactly how we grew up. What did we used to pick up on women? What did we used to do to flirt with them, and where was our spots, and what exactly was our lifestyle, you know? Because everybody today, they have apps and they have all kinds of stuff that we never had. So we had to have some skills, everybody. So as I was growing up as a youngster, I had a good uncles, cousins, and homeboys that always was around women. They were always gambling. They were always with the new Ramflas, and they were always cleaned up, fucking respectful, and they weren't cagapalos, you know. They were persons that always thought about business first, you know. And most of the people that I grew up with, they're Pachucos, Stacey Adams, all those fucking two-tooters, or their pinches vests, you know. They all had their suspenders. They all had their, you know, the big-ass trench coats, the sawed-off shotguns, their chains, their paños, their tangos, and they always like stood out. You know what I mean? They always had their bandanas, their colors, you know, and they always had their watches, you know. And like I said, the first thing that made them was they were gamblers. They were always playing dices. They were all playing 21. They were always playing something in the hood, in the barrio, you know, and or in family events. Everybody, they were always around the youth and the youngsters, you know, and they always had the nicest women. And every summer, it was a different woman. And as soon as I started hanging out with them, they told me, hey, you know what, things are gonna change, and we're gonna expect things from you, and you know, we can't say no, and you can't rat us out, and there's no exceptions. And if you disappoint us or you backstab us, you'll never ever hang out with us again. And that meant, one, it meant everybody. You were on the shit list forever, you know? You were known as a rata, or as a chapala, or as a fucking squealer, or a person that couldn't handle your shit. You had no potential. So as growing up, we were huila vatos, you know. We used to keep up for the trucha, for the juras, and for the jainas. Hey, when my jaina comes, let me know. I'm gonna be talking to this girl, you know. And we had to throw a lookout. Remember, our tias and aunts and cousins and everybody be like, what's so and so? Oh, don't act fucking stupid on me. Where's so and so? I know he was here. Was he talking to that little bitch? Was he talking to that one? What's he gonna do tonight, you know? And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I said, man, you fucking lied to us. You know, you're on the shit list, right? And you think you're on their shit list, you're gonna be on our shit list. You're not gonna be able to come to my house. You ain't gonna fucking get a little plato de comida. You ain't gonna get shit. So you choose them or me. And I'm like, I'm on the straight serious side. I don't even know what you're talking about. And that's the first thing we had to learn. How to be like, keep our fucking nose clean and our ears, you know, eyes shut and ears fucking. So even though you knew where they were at, you always looked on the opposite side, but you always kept an eye just in case it got heated, you know. Same thing, juras will come. You have a bicicleta, and guess what? You're gonna fucking go in front of the jura and you're gonna tell them, hey man, you know, tell them, hey, is that a fucking brand new car, or like, you know what, fuck you, you know, and just give them enough time so they could take off. When you used to see the fucking crime unit or gang task force, or they're creeping up on them, you know, you had to learn how to fucking whistle or make a thing to make it obvious and bring all attention to yourself. Same thing, it went for tias, grandmas, aunts, moms, everybody, eh? You had to fucking potential, you know. You had to learn how to not make it obvious, but distract, you know what I mean? And learn to keep them busy and not feel stupid at the same time, you know? Make them feel that you're on their side. So that's the first thing that we had to learn. And if you pass that test, then the next wheeler was they invited you to the orgies, to the parties, they invited you to you know, to be around them. And you knew how to play dice and Shinga, Pat 9, Hold'em, and all this. And you learn how to talk to hyenas, you know. So the way it worked was, if my uncles or cousins had a side piece, a mistress, they always were accompanied. They were always with some other woman, a youngster, her daughter, her niece, because they didn't let them be on their own, you know, or they were with their you know, little homegirls, and they're always babysitting and shit like that. So that's how we started flirting with them and keeping them busy, because all these, even though they brought them, but they didn't want them to be alone with them. They're like, hey man, I came to keep an eye on you, mama, or a cousin, or my tío said, you know what, don't leave me out of, you know, I want to know everything. I want to be on the loop. And they were chismosas, aguenderas, you know, ratas, you know. So my uncle used to say, hey, you know, I got a hyena, I need you to like entertain, you know, that meant unos 30, 40 minutes, an hour, you know. And if whatever you give me, I give back to you. It didn't matter what was the age. Sometimes you had to babysit. Sometimes you had to be a fucking person that keep them occupied, you know. Sometimes I was a youngster, and then they'll get all these cougars, you know. They'll get all these fucking old ass veteranas, you know. And you're like, hey man, you know how to play quarters, you know how to throw, you know how to do something, spades, or fucking, you know how to play chess, or what do you do, you know? They tell you, hey, I'm a cougar, I know what they're doing, and guess what, I'm gonna take advantage of you. And it's like, you had to take one for the team, everybody. And as time went on, they included you, like, hey, Kyle Maño, you know, you lived up to expectations. By that time, they're lending you their ranflas. Eh? They're like, hey, can you go wash my ranfla? And it's like, I go, but I'll wash it, but I'll take a little cruise, you know? And it's like, all right, it's cool. And then as soon as you started hanging around with them, you were going to the quinceañeras, you were going to the cruising boulevards, Whittier Boulevard, everybody. We had a lot of boulevards, you know? And they're taking you to the Parque de Raza, they're taking you to the Cinco de Mayo, they're taking you to fucking you know, tiras, you know, like fucking events, you know. And sometimes they're taking you, like I said, hey, I need a spotter. And it's like, she got a little sister over there, and it's like, wow, little. I said, you gonna do me the paro or no? I said, yeah, well, fuck it, eh? They're gonna take a chupon, or what's up? Shit like that, you know. And or if they had to go deliver some shit, whatever, they'll tell you, hey, you know what, we're gonna go to quinceañera, but we're gonna do a first stop. I'm gonna need you to jump that big ass fence and see that security guard. Make sure he don't fucking see you and he don't fucking chase you down. If he does, you're on your own, motherfucker. But I'll give you an opportunity. If you happen to get chased, so if you don't lose it and you deliver it, I'll be on that fucking corner. I'll keep an eye on you, and if I see you, I'll pick you up. You have to do shit like that. Nickels and dimes, you have to learn how to unseat the seats, you know. We had to learn how to roll. We had to learn how to do the pool. We had to learn how to deliver, how to, you know. We had to everything. And as time went on, you got on the party line. And people were like, "What's up, youngster?" I said, "What do you mean, youngster, man?" I said, "Man, I'm old enough to fucking put you on my lap and call you a little bitch, you know?" And people be like, "Well, you acting like a smarty pants." I said, "Man, you don't even know who I am." And I, "Well, who are you?" And I used to tell them, "Look, I run with the Night Owls, with the Joker, you know. I ride out with the so-and-so and so-and-so, you know." And they're like, "You know so-and-so?" "Yeah, you know that little girl?" "Yeah. I was with my mom." "Orale, so I know you then." And I was like, "What's up, man?" I go, and we used to spend hours on the party line just introducing our cultura. Our, like, "Hey, you ever been to like Coachella? You ever been to Tijuana? You ever been to Rosarito? You ever been to the cruising boulevards in Whittier, you know, in Brooklyn, or this or that, or you know about there's an upcoming oldies, or you know about Santana, you know about this, you know about that, you know about you know the cultura, you know." And if you're on top of it, you know. And it's like, what do you guys ride? You know, we used to tell her, tenemos Monte Carlos, tenemos 64, tenemos Buicks, tenemos balas, bombas, you know. Tell him, he goes, "What's up?" You know, Regals, okay, 68s, Malibus, fucking bombas, trucks, you know, Chevys, you know, and any hydraulics, any Daytons, any fucking, you know. And then we used to tell them, "Yeah, we just came from that car show or that car show," or people used to always like, "Hey, you gonna go to so-and-so's quinceañera? Or the neighborhoods are gonna have a meeting over there and you're invited? Yeah. You're gonna go downtown to the $1 Million, you're gonna go to," you know, shit like that. And those are how we used to communicate to hyenas, you know. And then once you learn how to be along and how to get along with the crowd, that's when you started spreading, like doing things on your own. Next thing you know, you get your new Ramfla, and they're like, "Orale, pinche youngster got a Ramfla now," and it's like, you know what I mean? It wasn't a gangster mobile, it wasn't a shit, it was just a normal fucking $250 car. Mine was a Ford Escort, everybody. But I used to learn how to drive everybody's car. I was around everybody, right? My dad Berta had a Nissan with a fucking back thing. Jojo had a Monte Carlo, you know, Miguel had all the cars. I was around everybody, you know. Bird and everybody had 64s, Regals, everybody had Oldsmobiles, the Supremes, they had fucking Monte Carlos, they had Bombas, they had you know, Novas, they had everything, anything. So you learn how to drive, how to be. I was privileged that my dad and my family members had furniture stores and businesses. So all the workers, you know, I used to go help them deliver and everything, and I used to meet all kinds of hyenas everywhere, you know. And right away I'll be like, "Hey, you know what? You ever need a hookup? You ever need a special? Just let me know." And a lot of times when we met a girl that we liked, you know, we always made it in a way that we kept in touch, you know. We used to tell them, you know, "Hey, you know what? I know that at the moment you don't need nothing, but I could get anything you need." I'm talking about the furniture, you need to move, you need a babysitter, you need someone to party with, you need a shoulder to cry on, you need someone to motivate you, someone to hook you up with a homeboy. Whatever you need, man, I'm your fucking man. And then after that, you have to start having fucking living up to expectations. Like, "Okay, well, what kind of car you got?" So you tell them the Ramfla. I go, "All right." After that, you gotta learn how to G-ride and how to take advantage of people's cars, you know. And next thing you know, you're pulling up on the new Ramflas, you're pulling up on this, you're pulling up on that. you're going to this quinceañera and everybody's just like, dang, you came with them? Yeah. He goes, fuck, you know? You gotta live up to expectations. You know, you gotta, even though your máscara ain't the fucking best thing in the world, but your self-esteem and how you conduct yourself and who you know, where you come from, you know, that has a lot to do with it. Sometimes just by telling so-and-so that, well, were you born in your familia, people be like, órale, I know your family, you know, Kylie, homeboy. It got us out, it got me out of jams, it got me out of everywhere, you know? And then by that time, you're already ditching in school, or you're going, our main thing was always the party line. And we used to meet hyenas at the mall, at the Maramela Mall, at the fucking, all these malls, you know, West Covina Mall, Ontario Mall. We used to meet people in Victorville, Fontana. We used to go to fucking Azusa, San Fernando, El Valle, North Hollywood, San Diego, Escondido, Temecula. We used to make a Chula Vista, OC, Santana. The next thing you know, you're meeting these hyenas over there. They don't want to party at where they're from, so they want to come down. By that time, we had estilo, and that time what I had it was a privilege because I grew up with when they make the movie America Me and all that, and people wanted to come and kick it in the projects and meet the fucking actors, and you know, all the people would take them to East LA to go meet the tree and go to Los Cinco Puntos, La Familia, La Onda, you know what I mean? We had all these movies like the 186. We had what was it, Stand Deliver. We had a pinche, what's this called, Escalante one. I forgot the movie. We had the Cheech and Chong, East LA. I mean, we knew because we're from East LA, you know, like projects, you know, El Servino and all that. And we're always involved in every single situation. We had connections. Or if we didn't know connections, we made. They wanted Google, they wanted some shit. We hooked them up, but hey, you know, we wanted the jacuzzi, we wanted this, we wanted that. They wanted G-Ride spot. Things, get it for them. They needed a number job, or get rid of their Ramfla, or we'll throw it over there. And I'm talking about 16, 15, 14. By the time I was old enough to fucking macizo los pantalones, you know, like tie them up all the way to the top. You know, before you carry your little fucking, you know what I mean? You fucking got down. Fucking didn't bitch and grinding. Your own homeboys, your own familia is the ones that fucking regulate you and funk you and fucking make you mad, you know? And you're gonna represent, not be a chavala, not be a rata or a, you know what I mean? Represent. If we ever back down, we got our ass beat up 3 times, you know? And but we started meeting a lot of people in the party line. Party line was like the hookup, and then from there we'll always find a mall. We'll find a place that we could meet and see who we were. The reason we never practically picked them up away from their homes, because we all got set up, and a lot of my primo, rest in peace, Jaime, and a couple homies, they get set up and they get killed. You know what I mean? So we didn't pick up no hyena from their cantones or nada, because you know how life works. They used to fucking set you up and throw a fucking shit on you, you know what I mean? So that's why we always went to the malls and, you know what I mean, to the clubs and to the spots, just to meet up with them, to see if they were who they were and they weren't with vatos, you know? The same way we dropped them off in the same places, you know? It wasn't ever like, I'm gonna pick you up for your canton, and, you know, because we met a lot of hyenas from everywhere. There's a Frogtown, Avenue, Happy Valley, fucking Hacienda, cartel women, gangster women. And a lot of women, we knew they wanted to set us up. So they'll come and have good time with us, and then they'll tell us, hey, next time, Skyly with your homeboy, you know, how do you know my homeboy? And and that's how you knew it was a setup, everybody. But we learned a lot of stuff, and we did a lot of stuff that had a lot of scary moments. You know, there was a lot of undercover cops. There were people trying to fuck up your homeboys or rob them, or people that are always trying to set up everybody, you know, and they use hyenas, you know. So that's why you didn't really want to tell people who you were, but you wanted people to know who you were, para que you could have, you know, but you just never told them how deep are you in the shit, you know, because like I said, they used to try to set you up. Say, for example, our homeboys robbed their homeboys, and they're going to use you as a guinea pig, everybody. But that's why we always went to the mall. And we throw a lot of orgies, a lot of house parties, a lot of warehouse events and stuff like that. We used to do flyers. And, you know, I've always been with music. I've always been a standout guy. And so a lot of people really... like a stand-up guy, you know what I mean? Someone that has a lot of acquaintance, has a lot of things to do. Like, you go up to him, what are you gonna do? It's not the same thing over and over and over and over. I mean, you want to go see some stars, you know, some shooting stars. You want to see the moon. You want me to go walk on the beach, go to the, you know, want to go Vegas. You want to go Rosarito, Tijuana, Mexicali, you know. You want to go to Golfo, wherever you want to go. You want to go to Venice. And we went everywhere. And we throw chingazos también, all right, everybody? So we had to live up to expectations, because no one's going to allow you just to come to their neighborhood, to their fucking place, and take their women. And ain't nobody going to let nobody come, let them, like, let you punk them in their own fucking place. So you have to have balls, and you have to learn how to como darte tu esquina, you know what I mean? Like, in other words, don't act Mr. Smarty Smart and try to fight with everybody, because that's how it didn't work like that. That's why it was good for me that I grew up a lot around gangsters and the projects in El Sereno and stuff like that. Have a lot of acquaintances and family members in all these neighborhoods, but I never claimed something, because it was easier to get along with everybody. But I always, como te voy a decir, I always tell people where I was raised at, who I am, and you know what I mean? I'm not just a gangster, you know? I'm a vato that, you know, higher expectations from, you know? And women, we knew how to not be, como te voy a decir, act spoiled, act presumidos, fucking thinking you're the shit. Nah, women don't like that. Women want a responsible, an attractive person, and a person that's going to give them a good time, is going to respect them, and is going to be there and show them a good time, you know? And if, you know, if things happen. And we used to tell them, hey, we'll run up like 2-3 rooms, and I'll take my lights, music, y todo, and have a good time. And once after that, we invited more people. See, I always knew people, managers at hotels, motels, and stuff like that. And I used to respect them, you know. We used to buy kegers in East LA. And we had the pistol. We had everything. And women always like that. We had the little candy store. You know what the candy store is. A little each fucking potential. And that's what hyenas wanted. Hey, you got this? Got that under the bag. You got that? Yeah. Can you get this? Can you get that? And you always had to step up to the plate. And you always got to look out that they didn't want to rob you, or there were other covers, or they're setting you up, everybody. But that was the main reason that we were always in the malls. We're always, right. For example, right here, we used to go to Shouts, Acapulco's, Crazy Horse, The Hop. We used to go to Luminarias, Hollywood, what's it called? All these nightclubs. And we always had We always had our spots. We always had our places. And wherever we go, didn't matter the city, the state, didn't matter, not even the country. We always were standout people. And we're always ready for the putazos, but we never called it in. We always, told them, hey, you need us? We're here. Even though I was by myself sometimes, I always told them, hey, you know what? Al punto, homeboy. Just say that, and I'll back you up. And you had to learn to pick sides. And you can't be a little escamoso from all the neighborhoods. You gotta represent, and you have to fucking live up to your name. When you give your word, you give your word. And there's a silent code that we all learn. And whatever we say, we have to come through. So I tell everybody, growing up, it was awesome. And malls and fucking swap meets and stuff like that was always my hangouts. And then the clubs, the spots, the nightclubs. I never was a bar guy. And I did go to a lot of Crazy Eights and stuff like that, but I wasn't really like that, you know what I mean? I always liked it to be social with hyenas, wherever. For example, back in the days, we used to do the fucking punches. We used to have the boonies. We used to have night trains. We used to have our own shit, and we used to make it. And then by the time we hit the club, we'll always tell them, man, you know what? Wasting all this feria is not the same, man. You know what? I got everything. And they go, you got this? Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got this, I got that. Yeah, I got the music and todo. And like, serio? Wax the car. I got the fucking armor on the tires. The white walls are clean. I go, we're ready, And they're like, well, where we're going to go, So right away, it's like, we're going to go here, 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 here. You get to choose. And they were like, you promise you're not going to fucking kidnap me and shit like that? You always got to respect them and show them that you're a man, that you're brought up the right way, Tienes respeto, and you're going to take care of them, You're not just going to rape them and throw them in the, or abandon them and leave them there, you're gonna be a fucking gentleman. You're gonna bring her back, and even though she don't give it up or nada, So a lot of people thought that we always got it. We never, like, say out of 10 times we got it once or twice. Everybody, and but we party with a lot of girls, and girls go, nah, those vatos are female. Those vatos are cool, And eventually, they become homegirls. They're part of your clique, and guess what? That's when you get the hookups. And when we used to go to the mall, like, hey, you're so-and-so? Yeah, well, my homegirl was with you guys, and she had a good time. It's like, vale. I go, get my number down. Next time you come with some hyenas, I'll get some hyena vatos, and tell me who you want, what you want. And they're like, serio? I'm like, that is like that, man. You want to go to Vegas and cruise? You want to go to the boulevard? We got the Ramflas. We could go 2-3 car loads, Pues, anda serio. He goes, we could go to the projects, we could close down the streets, we could fucking party, todo. I go, you'll see the whole fucking chopper and the juras and everything, and we don't have to worry about it. We got it under control. And she's like, serio? And then, you want to see movie stars? You want to fucking see scenes and stuff? We got you, girl. And like I said, out of 10 times that you met girls, 2 times you got some, but you respected everybody. And you always had a homeboy to take it for the team, You always had everybody. And like I said, growing up, my big cousins, big homie, todo, they used to look at me like, it's the cabrón, he's like us, He got his own shit now. He don't need us. And that's what people always respected me, because I did my own, and I never depended on nobody. Well, everybody, I hope that you guys like this chapter. And anything you guys need to ask or anything, I'm more than happy to make a video for you guys. But that's how we grew up, and that's how we picked up on hyenas at the malls, and we were in the party line, everybody. That's how I got my estilo, and that's how I roll, and I represent it like that. I wasn't a gangster, and gangster wasn't the subject in that time. It was who you know, how you know, and what you know. And that's it, everybody. All right, everybody.